If you still love the idea of sanity-destroying creatures and concepts beyond the rude boundaries of space and time, but are dismayed by rampant racism and lack of female representation, it's time for you to rediscover cosmic horror. While not the originator of the genre, H.P. Lovecraft is its best-known author, and arguably has been the largest impact on its development and success. Writing in the 1920s, his stories of weird fiction were a response to a growing understanding of science and a creeping suspicion to how insignificant the human race was on the cosmic scale. Unfortunately, as an Anglophile racist, his stories often also depicted more homegrown horrors, such as his attitudes towards immigrants and the almost utter lack of female characters. Well, that's not entirely true about the women. He did invent an eldritch entity often characterized as female called Shub-Niggurath, the black goat of the woods with 1,000 young. Please pause and take all the time you need to unpack that one. Now, while H.P. Lovecraft's influence on literature cannot and should not be ignored, for many his less than progressive elements and attitudes are off-putting. Luckily, there is a new movement within cosmic horror that looks to fix this, and actually use the faults of Lovecraft to make the genre better. And I'm not talking about better as in just more politically correct or progressive. I mean better at telling the stories cosmic horror is aimed at. N.K. Jemisin's The City We Became specifically tackles racism as an existential threat to artistic and cultural identity, while Lovecraft Country by Matt Ruff deals with cosmic horror themes but sets them in Black America in the 1950s. The Dream Quest of Velvet Bow by Keith Johnson reimagines a classic Lovecraft story with a female protagonist, and Victor LaValle's Ballad of Black Tom revisits Lovecraft's The Horrid Red Hook with the aim of retelling the story from the immigrant's point of view. Now, all of these stories not only breathe fresh air into the genre, but they also find more relevant social topics to explore the tropes of what makes cosmic horror terrifying. Racism, depicted as an external threat in Lovecraft stories, now is a profoundly personal look at a terrifying otherness living within humanity. The inclusion of women's stories and characters not only opens up new facets to explore, but makes the genre more relatable to literally the other half of the planet. The work of these authors is critical because there is value in the themes of cosmic horror independent of the problematic devices used by one of its most influential contributors. Cosmic horror helps us understand our relationship with the unknown and reconcile human experience and values against an uncaring and alien universe. In the 1920s, that involved advances in astronomy and physics. 100 years later, in the 2020s, that narrative edge is now a concept explored by seeing such horrors reflected within ourselves and our societies. So, if you like your stories weird, cerebral, and full of tentacles, but also more relevant, treat yourself and rediscover what the new cosmic horror has to offer.